Hey, how's it going? My name is Jackie Fish, and welcome to my Game of Thrones Top 5 mod list. Today we're going to be taking a look at what I think are the top 5 or best mods out there for Game of Thrones. If you are a fan of the TV show or the books, I'm sure there'll be a mod for you out there. I'll be sure to link all the mods down below in the description, and if you guys agree with what I say, be sure to let me know in the comments down below, and if you disagree with my top 5, let me know what you would do for a top 5 tier list in the comments down below. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive right in. So let's start off at number 5 with the Game of Thrones adaptation mod for Skyrim. I know Skyrim's a very old game, but it's great to see that the modding community is still as alive as ever. So this mod isn't actually out yet, however it just recently went through a closed alpha feedback stage, and I think the mod goes ahead and shows just such huge potential for this, kind of open world campaign in Westeros. So the mod will go ahead and set you in the War for the Iron Throne, and basically you'll have the opportunity to pledge your allegiance or go ahead and support the claimant to the throne that you want to. Each of these quests will have their own unique kind of spiraling tree branches which you can go down, so not every time you have to support Robb the Young Wolf or Stannis Baratheon, the one true king, or Daenerys Targaryen. So that will hopefully give this mod some replayability. As well, one of the things that I was kind of worried about when I was looking at this mod was the fact that, Skyrim is such an old game, so it can feel a bit outdated, but with the hard work of the modders, you can really tell that this game, the models look absolutely great, the armor looks amazing. It'll be very interesting to see where these quest lines do actually take you, and to see how much you have the ability to change the events in Westeros. So yeah, this is going to be on my number 5. It's not obviously out yet, so I didn't want to put it any higher, but I think it has a lot of potential and I wanted to put it on your radar. As well as that, I'm hoping that the modder will also give you the opportunity to pet Ghost or pet a direwolf, just because, I'm so heartbroken from the TV show that I feel like it'd be only right if there was a special ability to pet Ghost, or at least pet Greywing, as I think that would be the more time appropriate direwolf to have to go ahead and stroke. The next mod on the list is going to be Seven Kingdoms Total War. Now this mod would be rated higher, however it doesn't have a campaign, so I feel like you are very limited in what you can do in the mod. If you don't have a group of friends, it's very hard to go ahead and get some good battles going on the mod and really utilize the great aspects of it. So one of the great aspects of the mod is going to be the models. It has so many houses in it, but each house feels really, really unique, from House Bracken to House Mallister to the Tullys to the Northmen. Every single house in these regions of Westeros feel very unique and different. Even the ones we haven't seen in the TV show, the modder who made all of these has just excelled himself. As well as that, you also have all unique pictures and models for the characters in Game of Thrones, which again adds a whole nother flavor. It's not just a battle. You can see Robb Stark fighting alongside his father Ned on the battlefield as they face up against Tywin Lannister, and you actually see these guys fighting and you can pick them out in combat in the midst of these huge battles and really watch the fights go. So I think this mod is great. As I said, it would be a lot higher, but without a campaign, I feel like it's very hard to utilize everything that this mod does have to offer, and unfortunately I don't think we're going to get a campaign for it, because the modder went ahead and gave up on this mod a long time ago, as Attila isn't as mod friendly as a lot of these other games that are on the list. So I wanted to mention this because you can have some epic battles. You just need a group of friends to all get together, and the modeling on this mod is top notch. At the number 3 spot, we do have Westeros Total War for Medieval 2. Medieval 2 is such a great game, and it allows modders to really do whatever they want. In Westeros Total War, you go ahead and take up arms in the War of the Five Kingdoms, and you try and press your claim on the Iron Throne. You can play as a whole range of different characters. This mod has a ton of custom maps, so from King's Landing to Casterly Rock to Winterfell, you can go ahead and fight out on all of these custom maps, as well as utilizing a ton of really awesome scripts that allow you to levy soldiers from all the different houses. So for example, if I was in the north and I wanted to recruit men from Carhold, which is a Karstark stronghold, you can basically only recruit Karstark soldiers there, which I thought was a really unique way of getting that raising the bannerman feel for Game of Thrones and utilizing that in a gameplay situation. So I thought that was really impressive. As well as that, there is a whole wealth of different sub-mods as well you can bring into play. I've recently been playing the Fire and Blood mod, which is currently a work in progress. However, it's looking to pick things up at Season 7, so you have Daenerys invading Westeros and all the different houses fighting for control, and you have the dead beyond the walls. So I think this mod definitely deserves its place at number 3, as I feel it really allows you to experience the battlefields of Westeros and allow you to play as some of your favourite characters. At number 2, we have A Song of Ice and Fire for Mount and Blade. This mod is pretty goddamn old at this point, and I mean Mount and Blade is pretty old at this point, so it can feel a little dated, but I mean we just talked about Medieval 2 and that game is like 12 years old now, so a lot of these mods have been around for a long time, especially up towards the top of the tier list, but I think it shows the hard work and dedication that goes in. So this mod is set in the War of the Five Kings. Again, it seems like this is like a reoccurring theme, but I think that's just because a lot of these mods were made when that was happening on TV, so it was kind of the go-to thing and people didn't know what was going to happen because the books obviously ran out at like season 5. So in this, you play as an individual character as you go around Westeros and I guess try to seize the opportunity whilst everyone else is fighting. You can go ahead and raise your band of soldiers and pledge your allegiance to a certain lord, whether it is Stannis or Joffrey or Robb or Renly. You can go ahead and support the claimant and help them fight, or you can forge your own kingdom and try and use chaos as a ladder. I really like this mod because you play as the individual soldier on the battlefield, and I think that's very unique. And even though you don't have like a lot of the politics that a few of the other games have, where you don't have the large scale battles, you still can influence everything and forge your own kingdom, and it's great to see Westeros change whilst you do your thing. As well as that, this mod does have a great set of quest lines. I think there's like 20 plus different quest lines which will allow you to interact with a ton of different characters from the show. I believe there's a mission really early on where you go ahead and do some dirty work for Tyrion, kind of like a Bronn-esque mission, which I think is probably one of the best ways to describe A Song of Ice and Fire for Mount and Blade. Is you're basically Bronn going around and doing stuff for people and raising your own men. Also, there's a very unique feature in this Mount and Blade mod which allows you to actually become a part of one of the famous armies of Westeros. So you can actually just pledge your sword and your sword alone to Robb Stark, and he will go ahead and take you around the battlefield, and he will pay you a wage and equip you with weapons and armor, and you basically just sit around with him, and when he fights battles, you jump in as just a lone soldier and you raise yourself through the ranks to hopefully becoming one of his commanders. So I thought that was a really unique feature that none of the other games do have. Finally, at number 1, we do have a Crusader Kings, A Song of Ice and Fire. This mod is just amazing, and I think it does something that none of the other mods on this list does, and that's allow you to play the Game of Thrones political game. In Crusader Kings 2, you take control of a dynasty, which again I think fits Game of Thrones so well. You want to go ahead and raise this dynasty to power, and there is a ton of different start dates. You can go ahead and play in Aegon's Conquest, A Dance of Dragons, Blackfire Rebellion, the Greyjoy Rebellion, Robert's Rebellion. There's a lot of rebellions in Westeros, as well as playing in the modern time periods of the War of the Five Kings. It wouldn't be a mod if you couldn't play in the War of the Five Kings. In this, you can play as all your favourite characters, such as Daenerys, Jon, Robb, as well as maybe Ramsay Bolton, Aegon Targaryen, or you can go ahead and just create your own dynasty and put yourself on the Iron Throne eventually. As well as that, this mod has goddamn dragons which go around and burn everything. You never want to be on the receiving end of Balerion the Black Dread, because he can do some serious damage, but maybe your character can go ahead and be the one to slay him. And as I previously said, I think Crusader Kings 2 gives you such a great opportunity to be that Littlefinger, to go ahead and marry off your children and then assassinate your way through their inheritance law so that your children end up being in command of their territory and eventually using their support to go ahead and put that territory in your claim. There's very few mods where you can do that to this extent. So that is going to be why I think this mod is definitely at number 1. The ability to to scheme your way through Westeros is extremely unique and fun, as well as the ability to even go over into Essos. You can go and become the head of the Bank of Bravos, or take over the 3 cities of Myr, or even mass yourself a mighty Dothraki horde in the Great Plains and bring it over to Westeros if that is what you desire. I think this mod just encompasses so much lore and detail, allowing you to play throughout the ages, scheme your way to power, as well as fight on the battlefield against dragons. I mean, that sounds like the perfect Game of Thrones mod, and I think honestly this is probably the perfect Game of Thrones mod, the greatest we'll ever get for some time at least. So yeah, that's going to be my top 5 tier list. If you guys agreed with this list, let me know in the comments down below. If you didn't agree with this list, let me know what you would put in instead, and I will see you guys in the next one.